Hey yo, peace and one. This is Malcolm Young. It's February 27th. Hope everybody's doing well. I've been a martial artist for over 35 years, easy. But my first master, Master Harvard Lewis, used to say, "We don't change, things change. We don't change, things change." I think at the time he was telling me that, I think I was 19, maybe 20. And at the time, I didn't really recognize, I knew things was changing around me. And as a student at that age, looking forward, future wise, you know, I knew at that point that, everything that we do, we get tested for our authenticity, as our authentic selves. And I keep saying authenticity because I'm not gonna know the next person's authenticity. I can't judge the next person's authentic self. But I was thinking that way at 1920 because I'm learning. I've only been on the planet 19, 20 years. That ain't a lot. That ain't a lot. And for some of us, we didn't have all the guidance that standard modern day family nucleus this is. All those dynamics are different for various reasons. So how we come up authentic is, in the dynamics of what is it that we're experiencing. Are we able to study ourselves in the dynamic in which we're growing? Or is it only until we think of that? A 5-year-old that may become illumined to that, where I was becoming into an understanding of it. So everyone comes into the knowing or gnosis of themselves at some point in time. They have to start asking those questions. Mine began at 19, so on, so forth. With Master Lewis with that statement. Whether or not he said it first or not is besides the point. The message was clear. So I continued my studies of my martial arts the same way. I didn't change just because everybody went from, in the 80s in North America studying martial arts. You had, these different genres of martial arts in North America being produced, different types of fighters from what we see on TV. I grew up in North America, but I also expanded um, my studies into what I began with, and that is like martial arts derived from Asia, right? It derived from Africa, but it was actually um, when the Asiatic brothers short closed themselves off for 2,000 years. They did a lot of infighting. They did so much infighting that they became some of the the masters on the planet. Therefore, Shaolin was developed, through Damo, going into China and so forth, speaking with the emperors and all this type of stuff. It's a whole migration of how the development of martial arts came. But knowing that that was closed off, those techniques were kept hidden. You know what I'm saying? By monks, in other words, men who were dedicated to understanding these very complex concepts of growing on how we grow on the planet as men, how we grow on the planet as men, and then how we handle the aggressive, masculine, testosterone side of ourselves, without tapering back. You know what I'm saying? How do we handle that within ourselves? You know what I'm saying? And if we can handle that within ourselves, then the body takes on that being that we are, because we are becoming exactly what we see ourselves inside. But there's techniques to handle your temple in which the spirit is in. You know what I'm saying? So the concept of that came from my martial arts, where the whole hermeticism comes in, where even at that time I did a lot of self-study. Martial arts is about self-study. You don't pound, some form of stone, concrete, wood, bag, whatever it is that consistently, without a result. There's going to be some form of result. What that result is what was your intention into it? Were you intending to destroy the bag, or were you intending to develop the strength that the bag can provide to your knuckles? Therefore, you wouldn't hit the bag with so much. You would only hit the bag only with enough force to develop the skin, develop the body to say, hey, okay, I'm going to respond in a stronger way the next day. And that's why we train. We train because if we don't train that particular day, it doesn't build you up for the next day. You're just building up a more authentic side of yourself. You're becoming. And as you're becoming you feel confident about the authentic side of yourself. This part of you that came out of you. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I began to understand, that, we don't change, things change. Meaning that, as I was growing, I found myself, I'm not going to change that just because somebody else is over there cheating on some shit. So why I got to change the concept that, I got to cheat because he's moving ahead faster than me. He ain't moving ahead faster than me. That's like going to a martial arts competition, and you and the guy and you know that your main competition is 1 point ahead of you, but on the last practice they hurt their leg. They hurt their leg, like literally hurt their leg. Oh, so that puts you in first place. You didn't really get first place by way of like competition, by way of truth. The truth is you earn that spot. You earn that spot by default. That don't make you a master of that. That don't make you lead of that. That just makes you by default. Sometimes life is like that. I never liked a fight that was like that. I never liked a fight that was like that. There were so many times that I fought guys that was bigger than me. Literally, I'm talking about in competition, like literally bigger than me. They make a mistake, fall off the latai, but the referee don't call it. But I slip up, and all of a sudden this guy gets 3 points because I slip up off my feet on my own, because they got water all over on the side of the stage over there. I slip off because of the water, but he gets 3 points. So it's like things like that happen in life, but I didn't change. This shit made me mad as hell. You know what I'm saying? It made me mad as hell, and because I got mad, I lost that round. I didn't lose that fight. I lost that round, and it was hard for me to get back on point because it was like, how these dudes acting like that? How these dudes gonna act like that? Because I was a smaller guy, so it made me fight harder. Win or lose, I fought harder. And as a matter of fact, I think I won gold medal that night. I think I won gold medal that night. So I mean, I'm proud of myself for where I am today. I'm still studying. It's a long road for us all, man. I just wanted to, I guess, say that to myself. I don't even know if this makes sense for others. Just remember that, we don't change, things change. We don't change, things change. that's what was given to me in the beginning of my real studies, like real studies, after becoming a returner, after becoming a returner, what I'm saying, or after returning. So try to remember that more than anything, because no matter where you are in your life, you can be rest assured that if you stay focused on what you're doing, we don't change. Stay focused on what you're doing, especially if you know that you're being guided. You know what I'm saying? Self guidance is good, but it's self guidance alongside with the Most High with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to have an understanding of the whole concept. You know what I'm saying? That's not what this is. What life is really about. It's just about knowing within yourself that, okay, no, what I know I'm doing is correct. I don't care what anybody else says. I know that it's correct now. Okay, if I'm doing this, if you're not supporting me, just kind of stay out of my way. You know what I'm saying? That's what martial arts is. It's your discipline. It's your discipline. It's your war studies on how you put up boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And if that's and that's I'm trying to put everything into perspective without going too long. But I'm kind of long-winded when it comes to stuff like this, because I really don't have nobody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? At least not in the concept of, oh yeah, I'm sitting back with a diatribe and we all just kind of chilling and we talking about shit like this. You know what I'm saying? And exchanging and whatnot. But just the understanding that we don't change. Stay focused on what you're doing. Stay focused on the positive side of it as you're moving along. And you want to listen to others that inspire you, then cool, listen to others that inspire you. Sometimes other voices, other resonance. In other words, the voice, the vibration in which the Most High uses, it comes through other people's voices sometimes. It might be somebody that might remind you of a great aunt, or somebody that reminds you of somebody's dad that was like, wow, he was kind to me and he always said these things to me, but he passed, you know what I'm saying? So that same type of voice might come through that invigorates you, inspires you to through as a motivational standard. Some people use these great great speakers. They'll put on a great speaker. You know what I'm saying? I put on the speakers of historians and great leaders. You know what I'm saying? Those that I consider my leaders. In my life. You know what I'm saying? They inspire me to affect myself. Not affect others, but affect myself to, okay, all right, that's the direction. Everybody else is going after that, but this is the direction. You know what I'm saying? That's how you that's when you're in gnosis, because you'll look up and you say, hey God, but everyone else is gone, and you find yourself sitting with just so that you remember you gotta, you know what I'm saying? So it's just keep studying, man. Just keep studying. No matter what you do, keep studying yourself. The more you study yourself, the better you will find the better each day progression comes, because you're not changing. Only thing you're changing is how you do something so that you feel better about it tomorrow, where you don't have to think about, oh, I always trip up on this stool. Why haven't I moved this? We'll move it. We'll move the stool. You keep tripping up on it every day. You trip up on the same shit every day. We do change within ourselves, but we don't change from being the authentic part of ourselves. Okay, we don't try to become a cheetah when we're born a leopard. We don't do that. We are what we are. We are that. We just are what we are. We don't change, things change. This is Malcolm Young. Peace and one.